Well, people in certain parts of the U.S. I think, being fairly poorly led by their political leaders who are not lifting much of a finger to fight COVID, but are willing to go to great effort to fight people who want to fight COVID. And it sends a signal to their communities that they don't need to get vaccinated and that it's not important. And I think that doesn't serve them very well, the politicization, as you say. So the reality is you've got a number of people here who I think can take common sense measures to protect themselves and their families. We know that people in states that supported the Trump administration over Biden are 50% higher risk of dying in those communities, and it's all because 65% of Republicans have gotten vaccinated and 90% of Democrats. There's no reason that should be the case, and I would argue that under a different Republican set of leaders, that wouldn't be the case. We've got many Republican leaders that are pushing for people to get vaccinated. So there are steps we can take to minimize risk, but we have to take them.
Andy, the epidemiology surrounding Omicron remains unclear. What do we know about the science of this virus?
Well, there's some things we know and some things we don't know. What we know for sure is that it is a dangerous variant for people who have not been vaccinated, and it probably, although we don't have the exact numbers yet, it probably weakens the response of the vaccine. And I think it probably is still quite strong relative to severe illness, but it probably weakens somewhat with regard to normal infection. What we have to get to learn is whether or not Omicron, how it spreads in an environment where Delta is strong. Because in South Africa, the world hotspot, Delta wasn't very strong. And so we need to make sure that we see how it spreads in that type of environment and how severe it is in that type of environment.